also transform a source. So what does that mean? Well, here down below, I'll click on the group that I created with the logo in the video. When I right click on this, there's the option for transform. With transform, I could rotate items, I could flip items, or I could also center them on the screen. Here, I'll click on center to screen, and here you see that my logo and webcam jumps to the center. I'll move it back to the corner, but here with transform, I could very quickly make changes to my different sources. We've been looking at many of the different ways you can take advantage of the power of OBS, but I also want to show you how you can make the experience your own. Now, so far we've been using the user interface as it comes out of the box. You can adjust things to meet your needs. For instance, I could click on controls and I could drag it out of the experience. Or maybe I want to put scene transitions over on the left-hand side. I can move these different items wherever I want. Now, let's say you move a bunch of things and you want to reset it. Well, you could simply right-click on an item and then click on Reset UI, and that'll return it back to the original state. Along with being able to customize the user interface, you can also set up multiple profiles. Up here, there's a menu for profiles. So what is a profile? Well, let's say you go into File Settings and you go through and you make a whole bunch of modifications to these settings. You can set up a profile to store all of those settings. So maybe you have one profile for streaming, and then you have a different profile with a different set of settings for recording. You can then very quickly jump back and forth between those profiles. Another way that you can customize the experience is using something called scene collections. And what is a scene collection? Well, the easiest way to describe it is it's a group of scenes. So just like a scene has multiple sources under it, a scene collection can have multiple scenes under it. So it's basically one level up from scenes. Probably the easiest way is to simply show. I'll click on scene collections and I'll jump to my scene collection that I use for my YouTube channel. So here you see I have an entirely new set of scenes and then sources under those scenes. If I want to jump back to my other scene collection, I could simply click here, and now you see the scenes that we created together. We've covered quite a bit of functionality today, but the last thing I want to touch on is how you can use Studio Mode. Over on the right-hand side, there's an option called Studio Mode under the controls, and you could use this when you're streaming or when you're recording. Let's click into this to see what we can do. Within Studio Mode, you see a preview over on the left-hand side, and then I see the program over on the right-hand side. The easiest way to think of what program means is when you're streaming or when you're recording, this is what's being recorded or this is what's being streamed. Over on the left-hand side, we see a preview. Now with the preview, I can move different items around. So I could click on my desktop, I could adjust the size. So maybe I want to modify things. Now anything I'm doing over on the left, that's not being recorded and it's not being streamed. So I can make adjustments over on the left, and let's say that, while I'm streaming, I want to change my view to look like this. I can then click on transition, and this now goes live out to my audience where I'm streaming or when I'm recording. Alright, well that was a quick look at how you can get started using OBS. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. To see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see me cover any other topics,